My Meerkat and His Kitten. Chapter 2, Breakfast. It took all of 30 seconds, staring at Sebastian, before Kurt looked down and swept the tiny girl up into his arms. Okay, kitten. Cold wet cement and bare feet are a bad mix. We don't want sniffles, do we? He asked, but he was careful not to put on a baby voice. Kurt hated when adults had talked down to him even at the tender age of 4, and he refused to do it himself. Giggling, Kennedy hugged around Kurt's neck and shook her head. Who wanted sniffles? That was a silly question. Kurt, you is almost tall as Daddy. I'm so high up now. She smiled, looking her daddy in the eyes, and bright smile lighting up her face. Seeing Sebastian's scowl melting in the face of his daughter's smile, Kurt took the opportunity to sweep past and make for the kitchen with the little girl, stopping for a dish towel to clean her feet before depositing her at the table. What does the kitten want for breakfast? Pancakes or oatmeal? Hold on, Hummel, what the hell do you think you're doing? Sebastian stood in shock in the doorway of his kitchen, glaring as Kurt got things out. And who the frack would choose oatmeal over pancakes? Sighing, Kennedy got off her seat and made for a shelf, taking a large piggy bank over to her daddy and shaking him. Daddy, that's 2 words. She informed Sebastian, who just groaned and went to the entry, returning with his wallet, and sticking a full $1 into the bright pink pig. You having fun robbing me blind, kid? He asked, shaking his head as she returned the bank to its place. You don't gotta give us money if you don't use words I can't say. Kennedy sing-songed back to her father and climbing into her chair. Then she turned to her new nanny, happily asking for pancakes. Please. That's how you ask, Daddy. Wow. She is totally your kid. I doubted it for like a few minutes there, but this whole little exchange proved more to me than a DNA test might. Shaking his head, Kurt went back to whipping up his batter. Kitten, do you like singing? Bouncing, the little girl nodded. She loved all things music. I love singing and my dance lessons, and if I'm a good girl, I'll get to do piano next year. She told Kurt, excitedly clapping. Smiling over his shoulder, Kurt flipped the pancakes, noticing that Sebastian had taken up a seat at the table, looking unimpressed. Rolling his eyes, Kurt went back to preparing breakfast, scrambling up some eggs quickly, before bringing the lot to the table. Okay, kitten first, then you, Meerkat. Kurt smirked, making Kennedy a plate and even cutting up the pancake, before syrup was put on. Sebastian watched as Kurt's lithe figure moved around his home, and around his child, and felt queasy. What was he even doing? Why hadn't Kurt just turned and walked away, leaving him to handle shit on his own? Why was Kurt talking to his daughter like a person, and not a child, the way Seb preferred, and why was he going about the morning as if it was perfectly normal? Okay, what the heck, Hummel? Sebastian finally exclaimed, as a plate of pancakes and eggs was set in front of him. He almost wondered if Kurt poisoned the batter. Sighing, Kurt sat down, making his own plate. I don't choose the client, the kids choose me. Parents are the side gig, Sebastian. Why punish Kennedy for your crimes when we were kids? Which is my next point. Looking at Sebastian, Kurt squared his shoulders. We were kids, so let's just let the past stay there. There's no blame for us to fight over, and considering how adorable the kitten is, you must not be all that horrible. He grinned. What is with the kitten thing? Sebastian asked, before stuffing his face with pancake and groaning. Of course, Kurt had to be an amazing cook. Grinning, Kurt shook his head. What else would I call the child of a meerkat? Obviously, she's definitely more of a kitten than a pup. He winked, laughing at Sebastian's stunned look.